Hey, what is up you guys? You're watching Team APS. I'm Paul. I'm with Trell again. And in today's video, I thought that I would have the perfect guest to talk about what happens when you play rogue decks at Yu-Gi-Oh events. And we're not talking like locals, we're talking like big Yu-Gi-Oh events. So this is the master himself, Cubic Lord guy. Hey, you have to be in this video.
But right now?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
First of all, check out his Cubic deck profile if you haven't already. It's up on the channel. You play rogue decks events a lot. For varying reasons, sometimes, you know, last minute decisions, sometimes it's just, I don't know. But you have a lot of experience playing this. Like, what's some of the stuff that you've played and gotten actual tops with? There's like that Nigeria thing. And...
Cubics, Notorious, and most people don't know what Notorious are. I played Junk Doppel before it was considered meta.
Suffice it to say that he plays lots of rogue decks, so I thought this would be perfect. The things that happen when you play rogue decks at professional Yu-Gi-Oh events. 5 things, they happen a lot. You should be prepared for them. Some of them are good, some are bad. Start us off. You should probably...
one of the main things that happen when you play rogue decks is that people don't know what the hell your cards do. Like, people spend a lot of time reading your cards and trying to grasp your strategy, especially if it's an unknown, not so linear strategy, as opposed to a lot of the decks in the meta.
Cubics have long effects.
Cubics. It's kind of like when Infernos first came out. Mm-hmm. Infernos have a crap ton of text, but like only so much of it matters. So it's like, but we're Yu-Gi-Oh players. We're too lazy to read the entire text. You know what I mean? So it's like, just tell me what it does, or like, I'll just wait and see. And so like nobody really cares to read them, and then they don't read them, and then by the time that they do read them, it's just too late.
I feel like it almost seems like that goes hand in hand with rogue decks. Like rogue decks always have the longest card effect text.
Longest card effect text, the most obscure strategies ever.
Small little like kind of, that's how they build the gimmicks in. But I think that's kind of where the rogue deck success comes from. It's like people not knowing it and kind of like trying to read it really fast and just not like.
And just in general, like, and it's just a proven fact. Just in general, I mean, it may not always like be the most quote unquote successful, but it does have a high success rate of just being unpredictable in this card game. Is just probably the biggest, like one of the biggest strategies ever. I
think the lack of knowledge.
Yeah, I mean,
when your opponent's lack of knowledge.
Like, have you ever been like watching a feature match at a main event or whatever, and something happens that no one was prepared for, like even the people watching, and so it's like, holy crap, you can do that, and it's like it just like it takes them aback, and so it's like your opponent now has to respond to it in the right way, and if they don't, they typically lose. I mean, and maybe it's just for that one game because it's a surprise factor, but it's just the fact that at this point in time, you are on the spot. If you don't know what to do, you're going to lose the game. So that's what rogue is.
That's what I like about rogue is like whenever you see some crazy rogue deck win, it's like the other person sitting there desperately trying to read these cards and like figure out what to do, how to stop it. Wasn't there like a Time Lord player who like won some?
There was a Time Lord player. If you're watching this video, then shout out to you. And in fact, you need to hit me up. We got some ideas we got to talk about. Like we were talking at the event. But anyway, he won his flights with Time Lord. It was pretty awesome. He actually got his invite to nationals from an LCQ by playing Time Lords, and I
mean, imagine that, right? Like you're losing to Time Lords, and you're like, oh, Time Lords suck, and you're sitting here like you're down a game, you're getting burned out, and it's like you're sitting here like trying to read these cards and figure it out. And it's like you're losing. You're in the finals. Like,
and that actually segues us into our next thing about rogue decks. What happens when you play them at a huge event? People will consider you a bad player.
People will get triggered. They don't like seeing you win.
Oh, you only play that deck because nobody knows what it does, or it's really a sucky deck. You're probably right, but you just lost. So
yeah, that's the thing. I mean, people will get triggered. Sometimes I've seen entire like decks get thrown.
I've seen decks. I've seen people.
Type.
I think one of the most rewarding thing I've ever seen is like somebody got beat by a rogue deck, and then literally right after that, they just went to the vendors and sold everything. They were like, okay, this deck. They were, and in fact, it was the last time we went to Dallas when Spirals was a thing. When Spirals was the new shiz, and like this dude got beat by a rogue deck, and he just literally went to the vendor and just sold it right there on the spot. He was just through with it immediately over it.
I feel like I guess at that point it's just because like you sit here and you invest like all this money into the top tier deck, and like only to lose to lollipop gumdrop deck, just Time Lord OTK or like just something crazy, and it just feels like it's all like what's it all
right?
For?
It's all for nothing.
Like it puts it in perspective. But I mean, and I like what you said about it because I think these rogue decks, they still suck by all
yes, they do.
normal means, all metrics. it's just the fact of the matter is like you lost to it, right? Like because you didn't know what it did,
you didn't try to find out. I mean, you didn't care. You like a lot of people have enough ego. But I'm not saying all meta players do, but it's meta for a reason. It's obviously tried and true, and it's good. So your thought process is I'm playing one of the best, if not the best deck of the format. Even though I'm playing,
I don't have to care about.
Yeah, I don't have to care about that. I just have to win. I just have to play my game, stick to the game plan, and I win. And then you realize your game plan means nothing because this rogue deck literally trumps your game plan. But by the time you realize that you lost,
which actually segues well into the next point. Nobody is prepared, like side deck and strategy wise, because I mean most people when they're side decking, they're like siding for the best deck of the format, the best the top 1 or 2 decks, and that's what their side's committed to. They're not siding because the thing, most rogue decks have like one floodgate that completely shuts them down.
Right.
Imperial Iron Wall or something, I don't know. But no one's like right now, no one's siding Imperial Iron Wall.
And that's actually not a bad. That's actually wouldn't have been a bad side for Cubics, but I mean for against Cubics. But like I said, nobody's playing it, so I mean it was just a perfect meta call for that.
So the best they can do is like they have to use whatever they have in their side deck and just pray, that it works. Oftentimes it's not the optimal side against just the random kind of rogue OTK Gym Knight thing, like crazy strategy or something.
There aren't many mainstream floodgates or outs to a lot of rogue decks, and like Cubics being my spice of choice. I just knew that in going into the format, going into the event, I just knowing what the staple side deck cards were, none of them could really solid. Like I had somebody, I got Gozen twice at the event, and Gozen doesn't really hurt the deck because typically you just sit on one monster anyway.
And then conversely, I mean, as a rogue, like you're playing like some rogue gimmicky cheese strategy, you get to prepare for the meta. Exactly. They just don't get to prepare for you.
They don't prepare for you.
So you can still side for the Gokis, the Trig Stars, and like the Alter Guys.
Yes.
And you get to do it just fine, but it's the advantage in that case is in your favor.
Yeah, it's always rewarding when you're playing somebody and the first thing they say is, "I don't know what to side against you," or "I have no side for you," and you're like, "That's what I wanted," and you just proceed to just beat their face in.
Point number 4: people will try to shark you. That's where the negatives come in.
Can I leave this video now?
You can talk about. Anyway, people will try to shark you if you play rogue decks. Be prepared. I mean, people will try to slow play. People will try to, ruling discrepancies.
I had game on board. My opponent slow played me, so I couldn't attack.
Yeah, tell us about that national story.
I don't want to talk about. Some of you guys saw it. Some of you guys are there and you saw it, and I appreciate everybody that saw it and realized that my opponent was a bitch. And I probably shouldn't be cussing on a channel like this, but just being real. I had game on board. Of course, you guys, I'm playing Cubics. If you don't know what it does, I can tell you right now. It puts a lot of damage on the board at one quick time. I have over 9,000 points of damage on board. I'm attempting to move to my battle phase. My opponent is yawning and peeking at the time clock and telling me that he has to read my cards and he's not sure if he has a response. So he does this for about a good minute and 7 seconds, and time runs out and I don't get a chance to advance my game state. And they ruled in his favor because they couldn't determine that he was slow playing. So yeah, he knew he lost that game. Yeah, tier. No, not a tier. I almost got a jail charge. Forget crying. It was gonna be some jail charges. But it's just the fact that when people realize that they can't win, especially it's one thing to lose to the meta, but it's nothing to your pride when you lose to Rogue. And he realized he lost that game. He just couldn't take that L. So he took a cheap way out. I'm not ashamed to say that at all.
People will try to shark you.
Oh yes.
But we'll end on a positive note with the last point, and that's winning feels good when you win with these decks. I mean, right?
Sometimes I feel really cheap because nobody knows what I'm doing except for me.
But at the same time, I think like people love the underdog, like the low tier hero.
That does work too. That's another thing. You're playing, especially if you were to win a major event with what's considered rogue. Like let's just say like BA won the UK Nationals. Nobody ever saw that coming. So.
And everyone wants the deck profile, and everyone wants who's that one player who's like X1 with ancient gears,
whatever. So like people, it puts it on notice that this deck, even though it may not be the best deck, and it probably will never be the best deck.
It won't happen again.
Right, it never happened again. But for this point in time, this deck was a potential threat, and it gives people other avenues to say, I don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on Sky Striker cards.
It's like
this person just won. Yeah, this person just won with BA. let me check out this strategy. So it kind of gives you the, like I said, ray of hope to think, you know, there's other things out there besides the best 3 decks or whatever are considered for the format.
And you're more likely to get, you know, yes, the deck profiles, get in feature matches, you know.
Yes.
Sometimes Konami likes to see that kind of little bit of spice going on. So.
I look good on camera, so I don't mind feature matches. Y'all help, next time I go to a major event, you guys see me, y'all help me get a feature match.
Yeah, just go up there and just tell them like
coming in with spice. Let them know who I am.
So yeah, that's the video. For those of you guys who are thinking of maybe playing a rogue deck at your next regional, next YCS, it's not all bad. You might not win.
Now, when we say rogue, we don't want you playing something like Time Lord Crawlers.
Yes.
Just want to put that out there.
You know, Time Lord Crawler, Cardian.
Yeah, we wanted to actually have, you know, an actual strategy.
But it can be fun. It can be a lot of fun.
And that's actually another point to rogue deck that we didn't talk about. Rogue decks are typically fun. Like rogue decks are, they're not
bonus tip.
Yeah, exactly.
You can enjoy yourself.
They're not cookie cutter. They're not like, okay, I got to make this play the extra length to stop my opponent or whatever. It's like, oh man, I can do this with this. Let's see how it turns out. Because a lot of times when I'm playing rogue decks, I swear to God, I go in with no game plan. Like my deck has a strategy, obviously, but I draw my hand and I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Let's find out together. And I just like play cards.
Exactly.
I have the best time ever.
I think you get us more fun when you're like, it's less stressful. That way.
When you're more relaxed and you're not so stressed about your plays. I mean, you're just like,
it's more fun.
It's just more fun. It's like, okay, he doesn't know what I'm doing. He doesn't know that I don't know what I'm doing. So I mean,
question of the day in the comments: leave your most memorable experience playing with or even against a rogue deck. Some crazy OTK that you pulled off, some crazy gimmicky cheese that you lost to. Let us know down in the comments. We'll be reading and responding. But yeah, that's it for the video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully maybe this will encourage you to play a rogue deck at your next event. And yeah, so if you like the video, give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe for more Yu-Gi-Oh! Hit the notification bell. And also check out our social media, shirts, merchandise, all that stuff's down in the description. It's gonna be it.
Go swipe right on Tinder for me.
And that means, oh my god. Oh, okay. That's the video. We'll see you guys in the next one.
Remember, Yu-Gi-Oh! Players, wash your ass.